Have you ever felt as if something has changed inside you but you can't explain what it is? As if time didn't flow in the same way and certain coincidences were signs of something greater? Perhaps you've already made the leap without realizing it. The fifth dimension. We're not talking about a distant place, but a new way of seeing and experiencing reality. What if I told you that the way you think, feel, and connect with the world could be shaping everything around you right now? Get ready. What comes next could completely transform your journey. Are you ready to understand what's happening and how to live fully in this new consciousness? Have you ever found yourself feeling that life has changed in subtle but profound ways? As if things that used to make sense now seem distant and empty? This sensation can be uncomfortable, as if you were living between two worlds, one in which everything is concrete and predictable, and another more subtle one, where answers seem to come from nowhere and time works in strange ways. The truth is that you may already be living in the fifth dimension, and the beauty of this new state is that it is not a distant place that you need to reach, but a state of consciousness that awakens in you. In the fifth dimension, the way we perceive reality changes completely. Before, we lived with our minds stuck in a linear logic. The past is already past, the future is still to come, and everything happens from A to B. But when your consciousness expands, you begin to realize that time is more malleable than it seems. At times, minutes seem like hours, and at others, days disappear in the blink of an eye. This is because in this new vibration, past, present, and future coexist, and you begin to realize how your choices now are connected to everything, in all directions of time. This change can be subtle at first, like flashes of intuition that lead you down the right path, even if you don't know why you made that decision. Or as a familiar feeling, a kind of déjà vu, as if you already knew what was coming. It's not uncommon to feel that life is talking to you through little signs and coincidences that appear at just the right moment. These experiences are the universe's way of telling you that you are already operating on a new frequency. Living in this state of consciousness doesn't mean that you'll never have challenges again. On the contrary, now, every situation is an opportunity for deep learning, and the universe makes it clear that you are the co-creator of your own experience. There are no more excuses for living on autopilot. Everything you feel, think, and do becomes part of this web of possibilities that you shape every moment. This can feel liberating and, at the same time, a little scary. After all, what's it like to live without the comfort of old certainties? And this is where the real magic begins. When you understand that you no longer need to hold on to what has gone before or worry about what is to come. Everything is happening now. Every moment is a portal for you to access new realities and discover more about who you are. And naturally, when you change the way you see time, other areas of your life also begin to transform. When your consciousness expands and you begin to experience the fifth dimension, a profound realization emerges. You are not separate from anything. The idea that we are isolated individuals, living fragmented lives, loses strength, giving way to a greater understanding. Everything is interconnected. Suddenly, you begin to notice that your thoughts, emotions, and intentions reverberate in the world around you. And it's not just an abstract sensation. You realize that the energy you emit comes back to you as a faithful reflection of what you're vibrating. This state of unity is like tuning into a different frequency than the one you're used to. Now it's no longer me and the world, but a single field of consciousness where you and the universe are in constant dialogue. And it is at this point that synchronicities begin to manifest more intensely. Those coincidences that previously seemed like isolated coincidences become clear messages. Like meeting someone who mentions exactly what you needed to hear, or opening a book to the exact page with the answer to a question you've been silently carrying around. These synchronicities are clues from the universe, showing you that you are aligned with the natural flow of life. They are not magical in the fanciful sense, but represent cosmic intelligence expressing itself through everyday life. It's as if you were sailing on a river and, instead of paddling against the current, you now go with the water, letting it take you to where you need to be. You learn to trust the journey more because you realize that every sign, no matter how small, is part of a bigger puzzle. However, synchronicities don't always appear in the way we expect. Sometimes they manifest as challenges that force us to change direction. It could be an opportunity that closes unexpectedly, or a person who leaves your life without warning. In these moments, the linear mind can resist, trying to understand why things aren't working out. But in reality, what seems like an obstacle is just the universe realigning you to a more authentic path that you may not yet see. The beauty of this process is that it teaches you to trust and surrender. When you begin to recognize synchronicities and understand that they are not random coincidences, but a form of energetic communication, your perception changes. And with that, anxiety about the future or past hurts lose their strength. Everything you need is always in the present moment. And from this space of trust and surrender, other emotional experiences begin to take on new depths. With your consciousness expanded into the fifth dimension, something curious happens. Your emotions become much more intense. It's as if the filters you used to use to protect yourself from certain feelings begin to dissolve, leaving you exposed to both pain and joy in a purer and deeper way. This can be uncomfortable at first, especially if you weren't used to dealing with your emotions consciously. However, this sensitivity is not a weakness. It is a powerful tool for healing and self-knowledge. We are often conditioned to repress emotions to avoid suffering, but when you live in this new vibration, you realize that every feeling is a message. Emotions don't appear by chance. They reveal areas of your life that need attention, healing, or transformation. It could be an old hurt you've held onto, a relationship that no longer makes sense, or even expectations you've placed on yourself that now need to be revisited. In this state, the universe invites you to look at these wounds and, instead of running away, welcome them with compassion. This process can be challenging. Some days you feel overwhelmed by emotions that seem to have no explanation. Other days, you may be overwhelmed by empathy so strong that you feel the pain of others as if it were your own. But in the fifth dimension, these emotions don't come to crush you. They come as opportunities for healing and growth. By welcoming each feeling, you learn to integrate light and shadow within yourself, becoming more whole and balanced. And it is in this integration that true transformation takes place. As you move forward in this process, something beautiful begins to emerge. As you heal your own pain, you become better able to understand and connect with others on a deeper level. Empathy stops being just a concept and becomes a real practice, which allows you to be there for others without judgment, without trying to fix them, but simply understanding that everyone is living their own journey of healing and evolution. Over time, you realize that this emotional sensitivity is a force that puts you in tune with the flow of life. Instead of resisting emotions, you learn to surf through them, like waves that come and go. And in the midst of this movement, something essential happens. You begin to let go of the need to control everything. And when control dissolves, life reveals its truths in a completely new way. As you navigate the fifth dimension, you soon realize that your relationship with the material world begins to change. What once seemed essential, such as possessions, status, or external achievements, begins to lose its luster. This detachment doesn't mean that you have to abandon everything and live with nothing, but rather that things no longer have the same emotional weight. The satisfaction that used to come from having something is replaced by a deeper search for meaningful experiences and true connections. This change happens because the vibration of the fifth dimension teaches us that the real value of life is not in the things we accumulate, but in what we experience and feel along the way. You begin to realize that no possession can fill an inner void, and that genuine joy is born from simplicity. A moment of silence in nature, a sincere conversation, or full presence in small everyday tasks. With this, the present becomes the center of your attention, and anxiety about what you don't yet have or have lost begins to dissolve. This transformation also has a direct impact on your relationships. In the fifth dimension, connections that don't vibrate to the same tune begin to fall apart naturally. This can be painful in some cases, as people who have been part of your life for a long time can start to drift apart. However, there is no guilt or hurt involved, just the recognition that everyone is following the path they need to follow. Detachment here is not only material but also emotional. You learn to let go of what no longer supports your growth. In return, new relationships emerge that seem to flow more naturally and deeply. Genuine connections become the focus, those that don't require masks, where you can be authentic without fear of judgment. These relationships bring a sense of belonging that goes beyond the need for external approval or validation. They are encounters of the soul, where growth is mutual and exchanges happen lightly, effortlessly. Over time, you learn that both people and experiences come and go at the right pace. You no longer need to cling to anything or anyone to feel secure, because security comes from within. This freedom allows you to appreciate each moment and each relationship for what they are, without rigid expectations. And when you embrace this new way of relating, you realize that life becomes lighter and more fluid. And with this lightness also comes a new expression of your truest essence. With emotional and material detachment consolidated, something powerful begins to emerge. In this new state of consciousness, you find yourself increasingly aligned with values that transcend the ego and worldly concerns. What once seemed like an external pursuit, such as success or recognition, becomes a need to live authentically and meaningfully. This awakening is not a grand event that happens all at once, but a gradual process in which you begin to remember who you really are and why you are here. At this point, a natural connection emerges with your soul purpose. This purpose is not a profession or a specific goal, but a deeper calling that comes from the essence of your being. It can manifest as a desire to contribute to the greater good, share your truth, or create something that inspires and transforms others. No matter what form it takes, it is always linked to the authentic expression of what is most true within you. Spirituality ceases to be a set of rigid practices and begins to be lived with every choice, gesture, and intention. And it is precisely in this state of alignment that your creativity naturally awakens. Creativity here is not limited to art or intellectual production. It is the energy of pure creation flowing through you in everything you do. Whether you're cooking a meal, solving a problem, or having a meaningful conversation, you begin to realize that you are co-creating your reality at every moment. This new perception brings a sense of lightness and fluidity, as if life were expressing itself through you, effortlessly. This process is not about doing more things, but about becoming an open channel for inspiration. You begin to trust your intuition more, which becomes a kind of internal compass, guiding you to the right situations and opportunities. Ideas arrive unexpectedly, and solutions appear as if they had been designed especially for you. And by putting this creative energy into motion, you discover a new joy, not based on results, but on the simple satisfaction of being present in the process of creating. With spiritual awakening and creative expression working together, life takes on a new meaning. You are no longer trying to adapt to an external standard, but manifesting, from the inside out, the truth that is unique to you. And by living in tune with this truth, an inner peace arises that is independent of external circumstances. And it is precisely in this peace that you find the key to harmonizing even more with the universe and the present moment. With spiritual awakening and creative expression in full swing, you begin to realize something essential. True peace does not come from without, but from within. In the fifth dimension, serenity is not an absence of challenges, but a state of balance that is maintained regardless of what happens around you. It's as if you were in the center of a storm, watching the winds and waves without letting them drag you down. This inner peace arises when you understand that everything is part of a larger cycle, and that every moment, however simple or turbulent, has a purpose. This state of serenity is sustained by the conscious practice of gratitude. When you begin to value what you have now, without constantly wishing for what is yet to come, something profound changes. Gratitude aligns your energy with the abundance of the universe, showing you that nothing is really missing. Everything you need is already here, in the present. It's a kind of gratitude that goes beyond being thankful for good things. You come to recognize that even challenges are opportunities in disguise, opening doors for growth and transformation. Living with gratitude teaches you to appreciate the present moment. Instead of getting lost in regrets about the past or worries about the future, you learn to be completely involved in the now. The fifth dimension shows us that the present moment is the only space where life really happens, and that's where you find all the answers. Small moments, like feeling the wind on your face, hearing a loved one laugh, or simply taking a deep breath, become portals to a deep connection with existence. This connection with the now also frees you from the need to control everything. You realize that you don't have to force anything to happen. Life flows better when you surrender, trusting that each situation has its own time. With this, anxiety loses its power over you, and inner peace establishes itself as a natural state. Inner battles calm down, and you are guided by the lightness and confidence that you are exactly where you should be. And in this state of peace and gratitude, a new clarity emerges. You don't need big changes to find meaning and harmony. In fact, life has always been inviting you to live fully in the now, with an open heart and awakened senses. And the more you surrender to the present, the more obvious the presence of the signs and opportunities that life places before you becomes. When you align with the fifth dimension, you realize that the journey is not about reaching some final destination, but about transforming yourself and living consciously in each moment. All the aspects we've explored, the change in perception of time, unity with the universe, emotional sensitivity, detachment, spiritual awakening, and the practice of gratitude, converge towards a greater understanding. Life is a continuous dance between you and the cosmos. Nothing is separate, and every choice you make directly influences the reality that manifests around you. Living in this new consciousness is like walking over an invisible bridge that only appears as you take the next steps. In each situation, you have the opportunity to act authentically, trust the flow, and leave behind what no longer serves your purpose. It's not a path without challenges, but you learn that even obstacles are part of the dance, showing you where there is still something to be healed or transformed. Resistance loses strength, and in its place comes a trusting surrender to the wisdom of life. In this state of integration, you understand that you don't need to control the future, because everything is already in perfect sync. Synchronicities continue to guide you, like a subtle compass pointing the right way. Your relationships, now more aligned, support you and reflect mutual growth. Your creativity flows like a river that always finds the best path, and your soul's purpose is revealed in the small choices you make every day. Every moment becomes an opportunity to express the unique essence of your being. Inner peace, sustained by gratitude and detachment, becomes the foundation of your new reality. Now you know that you don't have to chase anything, because everything that is rightfully yours will find its way to you. The lightness of living in the present translates into more harmony and clarity, and intuition becomes a silent guide, always ready to show you the next step. You live with the awareness that you are in constant co-creation with the universe, and every choice made with love and intention becomes a manifestation aligned with your truth. Integrating the fifth dimension is not about moving away from the material world, but finding balance between matter and spirit, between doing and being. It's discovering that true freedom doesn't lie in external circumstances, but in the way you choose to connect with life. And the more you align yourself with this new awareness, the clearer it becomes that everything, absolutely everything, is already part of a great cosmic orchestra, and that you are both the conductor and the melody in constant creation. The real journey is not out there. It happens inside you, with every choice, with every present moment lived with intention. In the fifth dimension, you are not just a spectator of life, you are the co-creator of your own reality. Now that you know this, the question is, how will you choose to move forward from today? Change has already begun, and the universe is waiting for your next vibration. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel Leave your like and share this video with those who need to hear these words. Let's spread this awareness and inspire more people to awaken to this new reality. Comment below what you felt. Your voice is an essential part of this collective journey. And of course, thank you very much for being here until the end. Your presence makes all the difference. See you in the next video.